Islam versus JDM, I was very impressed with Islam's feinting. There was one point, because I always say sometimes I overfaint, but that's good because they never know when it's coming. But Islam did that in his last fight with JDM. There was points he just was feinting like 12 times before he even threw a jab. This is later in the fight as well, so I was really impressed with that.
And I don't know that we can say it ahead of the fight, but is there ways that this fight could play out that would then lead us to believe that Islam's the GOAT? Maybe. If Islam was to go out there and dominate, think of what he did with Money Moicano. It pains me, but I've even got to say Dan Hooker, he caught him in a position, he caught him early, but all the same, if he was to go out and just tie up Ian Garry and make Ian Garry surrender quickly, yeah, boy, that'd mean something. That would mean something. Be the champion of two different weight classes.
Islam Makhachev is going to send Ian Garry back to the kitchen washing dishes. This is what's going to happen. This is what he liked to do. We're going to send him do house tours. He talked a lot, and he talked about me. I'm the manager, dude. Like, nobody cares about me, but when he talk about me, I'm going to talk back about you. I don't think he's on Islam level. I think he's a great runner. I think he just avoid not to be finished. And I truly believe Islam Makhachev is going to finish him. He cannot tie Islam's shoes. He cannot even shine his shoes. He's the guy have 11 fights in the UFC, 9 finishes. 9 decisions. Islam is 10 last 11 fight, 9 finishes or 8 finishes. Islam finishes people. Islam bounce people head off the wall. Islam submit people. He's gonna do what Islam want him to do in the fight. Islam is gonna hunt him like a deer, who's a hunter, who's a 50 caliber machine gun, and after that he's gonna put a bullet in his head and he's gonna put him out.
Islam Makhachev's manager, Ali Abdelaziz, has issued a stern warning to Ian Garry ahead of UFC 330, stating that the champion will make him pay. According to Chael Sonnen, a dominant performance by Makhachev could solidify his position as the greatest of all time. Meanwhile, Israel Adesanya has revealed that Makhachev possesses a formidable secret weapon. Ali Abdelaziz emphasized that Team Makhachev is not underestimating Ian Garry, despite the hype surrounding him. Abdelaziz described Garry as more of a competitor than a finisher, warning that once Makhachev closes the distance, Garry will be forced into a fight from which he cannot escape.
I don't know, man. Whatever the future holds, but the number one focus, this is skinny twig, this Ian Garry. This is our main focus, This guy talk a lot, and we have to focus on him, because every opponent we fight, or Islam fight, or anyone fight, we have them take him seriously, even if they're not a serious guy. I don't think he's a serious man, but he's a competitor. I don't think he's a fighter. He's a competitor. It's a complete different. He's a guy like point karate, like to touch and move, touch and move, touch and move. You're almost training for him. You really have to be a track star to catch him. I'm not saying he's a bad fighter. I think he's a good fighter. He's an average fighter, and he's just hard to figure out because he runs a lot.
However, Ali Abdelaziz issued a stern warning to Ian Garry. Abdelaziz stated, "The trash talk ends once the octagon door closes." He asserted that Garry isn't on Islam Makhachev's level, predicting the champion will pressure him, break him down, and expose the gap between them. According to Ali, Fight Night will decisively prove exactly why Islam is the UFC's most dominant champion.
He cannot tie Islam's shoes. He cannot even shine his shoes. He's the guy have 11 fights in the UFC, 9 finishes. 9 decisions. Islam is 10 last 11 fight, 9 finishes or 8 finishes. Islam finishes people. Islam bounce people head off the wall. Islam submit people. He's gonna do what Islam want him to do in the fight. Islam is gonna hunt him like a deer, who's a hunter, who's a 50 caliber machine gun, and after that he's gonna put a bullet in his head and he's gonna put him out.
At last, Ali Abdelaziz warned that while Team Islam respects Ian Garry, respect won't change what happens once the octagon door shuts. He confidently predicted Islam Makhachev elite skill, relentless pressure, and championship experience will expose the massive gap between them on Fight Night.
My opinion, but He's doing it himself, but he's there. He's a number, and Islam on August 15 will take the number, and after that he go back to the kitchen. This is what's gonna happen,
Yeah.
But we respect him very much. We think he's talented. We're training really, really hard for him. Like, he is the greatest fighter on the planet. And like I said, this game is unforgiving. Anything can happen. Somebody can throw a head kick, catch you, knock you out. A punch, knock you out. Can catch you and broke your arm. Something will happen. But if you match skill to skill, brother, it's not even on Islam's level, honestly, my opinion.
Shifting to Islam training, Ali Abdelaziz revealed that Islam Makhachev is reaching another level in training camp, saying the champion continues to sharpen every weapon in his arsenal. He praised Islam's relentless work ethic and claimed each camp makes him an even more dangerous and complete fighter. According to Ali, the version of Islam heading into UFC 330 is stronger, smarter, and more prepared than ever before.
It's weird, man. Like, every camp he's just getting better, added more tools. He's in great shape. Doesn't even breathe hard in sparring. It's like, and he's getting put a lot of great fighter. But he's the best I've seen him, honestly.
Wow. Yeah. That's what was the best before this, if you can recall?
The last fight. He's just getting better, man, and better and better. He's just adding a lot of tools into his game. From striking, from different submissions, from just wrestling, just mixing it up differently. He's just a puzzle. Even the guys in the training session is really hard to figure out.
Chael Sonnen suggests that if Islam Makhachev were to completely outclass Ian Garry, it would stand as one of the most impressive feats in the sport's history. Sonnen emphasizes that Garry has already proven his elite status against top competition, solidifying his place at the highest level. He lauded Garry's youth and immense potential, stating that a dominant performance against such a talented fighter would elevate Islam Makhachev's legacy to an unprecedented level. Chael concludes that a decisive victory in this scenario would not merely be a title defense, it would broadcast a powerful statement to the entire mixed martial arts world.
Can go out and he can dominate Ian Garry, which I don't think Rakhmonov did. Rakhmonov decisively defeated him. I don't think anybody thought Ian was outclassed or didn't belong in there. But if Islam can go out there and outclass him, particularly if there's some good stand-up exchanges, I think that it's going to weigh very heavy on him. Don't forget how young Ian Garry is. Don't let that get away from you. That's the real number. That's the real number that very seldomly is overcome. It would prove a lot.
Chael Sonnen says Islam Makhachev already silenced every doubter who questioned whether he was too small to compete with bigger welterweights. By overpowering and controlling a naturally larger opponent on the ground, Islam proved that his elite wrestling can neutralize size and strength. According to Chael, that dominant display erased one of the biggest criticisms surrounding
The matchup between Islam Makhachev and Ian Garry at UFC 330 is defined by two distinct technical profiles operating in the welterweight division. Understanding how this fight unfolds requires isolating the specific wrestling entries Islam uses, and how Garry's counter systems either succeed or collapse under sustained pressure. Makhachev's recent performance against Jalaluddin Malalna demonstrates a deliberate feinting pattern designed to create uncertainty in opponent timing. The pattern is consistent: multiple false movements, sometimes 12 or more feints before committing to actual striking. This isn't random. Feints serve a specific function in Islam's game. They measure distance, collapse an opponent's footwork awareness, and generate reactive movement that creates openings for level changes and takedown entries. Against Malalna, Islam maintained this pattern even deep into the fight. He never abandoned it. The feinting continued because it was working, establishing a rhythm where Malalna's defensive posture remained reactive rather than proactive. This is fundamental to Islam's pressure system. The striking setup controls distance and timing, and the takedown follows from controlled chaos. Islam's primary wrestling entry in this weight class runs through a specific technical sequence. He establishes clinch control, establishes a high underhook position, then converts into a clubbing takedown. The underhook creates a structural lock that prevents an opponent from creating separation. From there, Islam uses upper body leverage to drive through the opponent's center line, forcing them to either sprawl or go to their back. This entry has been reliable across multiple opponents because it doesn't require explosive athleticism. It requires positioning and leverage sequencing. Islam uses his frame efficiency to generate pressure through contact rather than speed. Garry demonstrated a direct answer to this entry during his fight with Shavkat Rakhmonov. When Rakhmonov attempted the same underhook to clubbing sequence against Garry, Garry countered by creating separation on the high side, slipping under the underhook, and taking Rakhmonov's back. This is a technical reversal built on precise hip positioning and understanding the geometry of the entry. The question becomes, can Garry execute this reversal consistently against Islam? Consistency matters because Islam doesn't commit to single sequences. He chains entries together. If Garry escapes one underhook-based entry, Islam has already begun positioning for a level change or collar-tie transition. Islam's game post entry operates through clinch control and sustained pressure. Once he establishes position, whether pressed against the fence or in the center, he uses weight placement and leverage to limit an opponent's offensive output. He maintains breathing space efficiency, never overextending. This is stamina management disguised as dominance. Garry's offensive framework depends on space and movement. His striking relies on distance management and repositioning. When Islam closes that distance through clinch work, Garry's offensive toolkit becomes limited. The entire structure of his fighting system requires him to dictate engagement range and timing. Islam's footwork is economical. He takes measured steps designed to close gaps incrementally while maintaining balance for takedown threat. This isn't flashy movement. It's purposeful weight distribution. Each step brings him closer to clinch range without telegraphing his intent through overcommitted positioning. Garry's movement pattern relies on lateral spacing and immediate repositioning. He uses reach advantage to maintain striking distance, then shifts away. His footwork is built on creating angles rather than collapsing distance. When Islam successfully reaches clinch range, this footwork advantage disappears. Islam's finishing record suggests he pressures opponents into submission sequences or positional dominance. Garry's record shows he absorbs output and relies on decision-making and positioning to survive volume. Neither fighter is easily finished striking-based. The fight becomes a question of cardio efficiency under sustained clinch pressure. Islam has demonstrated breathing efficiency in previous camps. He doesn't fatigue visibly under clinch-heavy exchanges. Garry's cardio under pressure is less established at this elite level. 3 technical positions will determine this fight. First, the clinch entry. Can Garry prevent Islam from establishing underhook position? If Islam secures it, does Garry have the hip mobility to escape before the takedown sequence completes? Second, the sprawl recovery exchange. If Garry sprawls Islam's takedown attempt, can he create separation or must he immediately defend a re-entry? Garry's fastest offensive output comes after successful sprawls. If Islam chains re-entries faster than Garry can initiate striking, Garry's offense stalls. Third, the fence work. When pinned to the cage, does Islam's pressure system allow Garry enough movement space to land strikes and create angles of escape? Fence positioning determines whether clinch dominance converts into round control or only positional advantage. Islam operates with structural advantages in clinch mechanics and entry sequencing. Garry operates with advantages in striking range and off-pressure re-engagement. The fight resolves based on how efficiently Islam closes distance and how consistently Garry can generate separation. This is not a prediction. This is the technical problem Garry must solve.